Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a little special tribute to Eddie Van Halen. We lost him 1 year ago today, and I swear there's not been a single day in this year that I have not thought about him. So I thought this would be a good day to kind of remember him. I'm sure all you guys remember him anyway. But we're going to tackle Top Jimmy, which is just an amazing... the rhythm guitar parts of this thing are one of the most challenging things he's ever done. So it's a very, very cool track, very unique, and we're going to cover the whole thing all through. We're not going to cover all the little tiny overdubs he does throughout, but all the main sections we're definitely going to cover, all right? Before I do, though, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the notification bell so you know when I release a new video. Like and comment on them. It helps the YouTube algorithm stuff. And if you really want to support what I do here on YouTube as well, you can join my Guitar Academy. It's the best way to support anything I do. You'll see a link to it in the description below, and that link will give you a free 7-day trial to my academy. And the academy contains, all my guitar courses, covering everything from complete beginner courses to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone, you name it, and you get personalized support from me as a member. All right, so I hope to see you there. All right, now, so first things first, when we're diving into Top Jimmy, we're gonna go through all the rhythm guitar parts first. This is one that was recorded on a Ripley stereo guitar. So it's really hard to kind of dial in an exact tone for this because of what's going on with that stereo guitar, where every single string can be panned separately. So you can see, if you can hear that, if you listen to it on headphones, you can really hear it. Obviously, I don't have that. This is a Strat, so it's not going to be able to do that. So I just kind of have a edge of kind of a breaking up kind of plexi tone here, and then the tuning for all the clean sections is also very unique. It's kind of a D7 tuning. So let me go through that real quick. So we have the low E string is tuned down to a D, and then the A string and D strings are the same. The G string is tuned up to an A. It's never fun tuning your guitar up. And then the B string is tuned up to a C. And then the high E string is tuned down to a D. So that makes a D7 chord without the third, obviously. So it's just a bunch of D's, A's, and C's. But you need to get into that tuning, and then that's what makes all the harmonics stuff that he does sound good. So I'm going to go through this intro here, and when I go through the intro, pretty much for all the harmonics I'm going to do exact, like he did it. And then as we go throughout the song, like later on, the second harmonic section, there's a distinct pattern that he's playing, and then he's just kind of doing slight variations. I think a lot of it he's just kind of winging it, but there's a kind of a pattern he's doing, and he'll just kind of make these little embellishments on it. I'll cover all those embellishments in the intro, but for later on in the song, we're just not gonna worry about it. And we have obviously those little harmonics and stuff going on over the intro. I'm not gonna cover those, just the main intro part. Okay, so now we have this first harmonic sequence in the beginning. It looks like this. All right, so we're gonna cover it like those little bits like that. So we're gonna start here. Just take your ring finger or whatever and put it across the 12th fret. Now here he hits just the low E string. I'm gonna call it the low E because I'm never gonna be able to figure out this is an A now, the C string. It's not gonna happen. So the low E string, and then you pick the D, G, B, and back to the G. So with this. And then you go up to the high E string. And you pick across the strings, but you'll see the timing of the top three notes is a little bit slower than faster on the bottom three. So we have this. One more time. this is almost the full picking pattern. This is actually when he starts it, basically left a note out there on the A string that he doesn't for the rest of the song. So, all right. And then we come down here and do the same thing, that bar across the 7th fret. And the first time you hear him play this at the 7th fret, he starts on the A string. So we just pick like this. So that's going to be starting on the A to the D, G, B, back to the G, and then up to the high E. Kind of doing the same thing he did there. But now we have this little variation. So what's going on there? We have the harmonic at the 5th fret on the high E, then the B, and then you hear the open G string ring real quick, like that. And then he goes back to the harmonics, across the 7th fret again. So put that across the 7th fret, these harmonics, B, G, D, A. So from the 7th fret harmonics, at least, we have this. So all together so far. All right, and now we get back to kind of repeating those harmonics. So we'll go back up to the 12, and so this second time through it looks like this. All right, so this is close to the full picking pattern here. Well, it is the full picking pattern here. So we're up at the 12, and basically the only difference in the first time through is before we did this, we picked that low E string and then skipped over to the D string. We kind of paused on that first note. Then here, he just picks across. So you're just picking the 6th, the E, A, D. So it's just basically, there's no pause on that bottom string. Just pick across to the A. So it's the same picking pattern besides that. Now, when we get to the high E string, you hear the high E string ring open. So we have this. Now, when you first hear that, you might, oh, he's made a mistake, he missed the harmonic. He does it multiple times in the song, so it's probably just an effect that he's going for, and he'll play that high E string as an open string every once in a while. So we have this. And then you come back down with the harmonics. So it's basically the full pattern, if we used all harmonics, looks like this. Which I'm going to be doing a lot in a little bit. So that's the pattern you really want to get down. And all you're doing there is let the note on the high E string ring open, not the harmonic. All right, and then you basically take that exact same, well, we're going to start it as the exact same pattern down on the 7th fret. So you're going to start from the low E string this time on the 7th fret. So the timing is a little bit different here. So you're going to go up. The timing is the same all the way up to the high E string. And then we have, quickly you play the 7th fret on the B and the G. And then here we have this another different ending. Sorry. Which is the harmonic at the 5th fret on the B. That open G string again, just slightly. It sounds more like just a kind of like a muted note. And then we finish with these 3 harmonics. Put the back at the 7th fret bar, harmonic bar, I guess. And then we have the A string, G string, D string. So the 7th fret version here. All right, so that gives us the second time through the G12 to 7 harmonics. All right, now the third time through looks like this. And then we go into this. All right, so that was just the full picking pattern at the 12th fret there, all harmonics. And then you start the same pattern again at the 7th fret. And as soon as you get to that high E string, that's when you jump into this. So what's going on there? That is, we're in a drop tuning here. So we're playing this across the 5th fret of the low E, A, and D strings. So we're gonna slide it down to the 3rd fret, then the open, those bottom 3 strings open, and then slide into the 3rd fret with that power chord a couple times, and then back to the open. So that looks like this. Sorry. So then you got to jump back and do the harmonics. Now the 4th time through the harmonics, a little bit different here. Looks like this. So that right there was just the 12s. He kind of pauses when he gets to the high E string. So we have this. So just pause when you get to the high E string. And then we have the open high E. Then the 12th fret on the harmonic and the B, G, and D. It's the way this. Hear that open high E in there? Let it ring, then. And then the same thing that we did before, the normal picking pattern all the way to the high E string on the 7th fret. And then the same. So from there, I just kind of keep it this full picking pattern. And then, so the 4th time through, we just have this, sorry, which is just that same beginning, but we go, kind of do it like that, which is sliding 3 to 5 and then do it again. And then we have the rest of the intro looks like this. That takes us to the verse. So that little thing right there, especially this part right here, you can hear certain strings more than others and stuff. Remember, it's that stereo guitar, so he can really kind of adjust things wherever he wants. So what he's doing is he's playing a bar at the 5th fret across the D, G, and the B, and pulling off to the bar across the 4th fret of the same 3 strings. Now, the easiest way for me to do it is to do that pull off, but play the first bar with my ring finger, and then the bottom bar with the index. So it's easier to kind of pull off than do that. So with this. So what I'm doing is I'm doing that pull off. So you do the pull off, then pick the 5s again. Then pick them again, pull off to 4, and then pick the 5, pull off to 4 again. So this. Now, after you've pulled off to that second time where you're pulling off to the 4, slide it down to the 2nd fret. Then you're going to now do the bar at the 3rd fret, pull off to the 2nd fret bar 3 times, and then pull off to the open strings. We have this. All right, and then we get to the verse section, which is pretty crazy. So it looks like this. that goes to the chorus there. So this right there is, so you're gonna do a bar at the 5th fret here, and kind of chugging on the, kind of palm muting the 5th fret there on the A string. So it looks like a D chord. Obviously with the tuning it isn't. So, I mean, it looks like a D major shape, but obviously with the tuning it's not. But we have that bar across the 7th fret of the D, G, and the B. So it kind of like this. So you're just hitting that on the 5th fret of the A string. And come and hit those three, that triad real quick. Then go back to the, hit a couple more times on this 5th fret here on the A. And then we go to this shape, which is part of the bar. So you're gonna be playing 7 on the D, 5 on the G, which is part of the bar, and then the 6th fret there on the B. So this. And then you hit that a couple times more. So this. All right, then we're gonna move it to here, which is basically just like looks like a C major triad, just across the 5th fret of the D, G, and the B. So you're just kind of chugging on this, and you start opening up. You're on the D string here, this 5th fret. And you start kind of really strumming across. And then we had this crazy little lick. So what he's doing to create that, now I can find no live videos of him doing this, but it sounds like what he's doing like a little, it's not really a sweep in that it's timed too much with the notes, but you've probably done that before. Yeah. Kind of raking across the strings back and forth. So especially on the second half of it, it looks like he's doing a. It's not the most precise, thing in the world. It's just kind of just supposed to be a kind of thing. And if you listen to the recording, you can tell it's just like, it's just a blur of notes, really. So what's going on? What are the notes? We have this open D string, and then hammer 3 to 5 on the D. Then you're gonna pick the 5 again, and then jump over and pick the 4th fret on the B. Then you're gonna go back down to the 3rd fret on the D string and pull off to the open string. All right, and now you grab what looks like a B flat major triad. We know it's not because of the tuning, but. And that's really where that rake comes into play. You're gonna just basically. It almost sounds like he's hitting like that double stop there, but I think what he's doing to kind of create that effect is he's just raking across it. So we basically have this, holding these 3 notes, and then just rake across from the D to the B, just all one downstroke. And then come back, B, G, and when you get to the D string, pull off 2 to 0. Now, add a palm mute to it. So the 3rd time through, we have a different ending. So that starts with that 5th fret bar, but you kind of really start resolve it quickly to the 5th fret there on the D, 3rd on the G, 4th on the B. And then we go to the bar at the 3rd fret there, across those same 3 strings. Slide down to 2, hit it a few times. Slide down to the 2nd fret, and then hit that and pull off to the open strings. So we have this. Third time through here. All right, and then we get to the chorus, which looks like this. All right, so that's going to start up here. Once again, it just looks like basic shapes, but it just chords are not what you think they are because of the tuning. But we have it looks like a G major, basic G major chord at the 10th fret there on the A string, barred across the 12th on the D, G, and B. And then we go from there to. You can keep this note here, but we're kind of focusing on the 12th fret there, on the D, 10th on the G, 11 on the B. And then kind of take that same, that same kind of chord move, but at the 5th fret. A little bit different rhythm, obviously, so it is. He's going to continue this same little chord move just on different frets. So I'm going to go to the 8th fret. So that same thing at the 8th fret, and then down at the 3rd fret. So it's kind of lock on their rhythms. All right, then back up to the 10th fret. And now we move it to the 7th fret. Enjoy this. And then take it to the 8th. So we do just one hit of each there, and then the same thing at the 10, and the same thing at 12. So all together we have this. All right, so then we go back to the harmonic stuff. So it's pretty much the same thing we did in the intro. So here's where I'm like saying, you know, you can kind of just stick with the pattern. He is just doing little variations here and there, but I just kind of like to stick with the same pattern. So right there, so it's basically 3 times through. So just doing the full pattern on the harmonic, and then the 7th. And when you get to that high E string, so you do that kind of twice there with that kind of ending, and then the 3rd time through, the kind of extended ending, and then it has that same ending, and then it has the same verse again, so the same verse section and the same chorus section that we just covered as well. So nothing new there. It kind of repeats it pretty much exact. Like I said, there are you hear little dubs of like kind of little pick scrapes in here and stuff, but we're doing, you know, the actual parts themselves, not the little overdubs. All right, now we have the solo section. I'm going to cover the actual solo at the end. It's actually on a different tuned guitar, which is kind of a bummer. It's in standard tuning, and the rest of the song's in this. So however you want to deal with that, you deal with it. But the rhythm part, I'm going to go through all the rhythm parts first because of that. So I'm going to start here with just the solo, the rhythm that's going on underneath the solo. It looks like this. right, so that kind of starts, it's kind of really muted. So just kind of plugging on this, just really the bottom strings here at the second fret on the low E and the A. So let's start with the open strings, and then just hammer on that second fret and just kind of chug on it a little bit. Then go 0, 2, 0 with the full chords, those two strings together. And then come back. Then again. Now we're gonna kind of chug on the open strings a little bit. And then goes 3, across those two strings, 3, 2. So this section right here is just, it's obviously very subdued and in the background, but just need to know, kind of be able to hum it. It's the easiest way to get it. So it is. Now from here, we go kind of just do that same little 0, 2, 0, back down to the open strings. Then it comes back to 2 real quick, and it goes 2, 3, 2. So we just kind of hear that in context. Right here. And then do that again. So after you've done that a couple of times, so it's just really between those two right there, you can just kind of hum it. And when we get to that final time, then you start letting things ring. So it just plays that power chord at 2, then 3, and then as you move up to 5, you can actually start. Just as you start the 2, and then as you start moving up, just add the high E and the B string over it. So it just goes from 2 to 3, 5, 7, and then you get to 8. You're just kind of picking straight through there. And then we have that same ending. All right, so it's kind of subdued. I don't know if you'll even be playing that section, but it's pretty simplistic. You just need to be able to hear. Then we get to the same verse section that we played earlier in the song. And then we get to the outro chorus, which is slightly different than the other chorus. Looks like this. So the same thing, starting 10th fret to the 5 to 8 to 3, nothing different there. Back to 10 and back to 7. Here's where the difference starts. When we move up to the 8th fret, we do that figure, little chord figure there at the 8th fret, and then you're gonna take that shape, not the bar shape, and move it up to the 10th fret. So hit that once, then go to the bar. Hit that a couple times, and then come back down here. So it looks like this. Then you do that again. So just slightly different way of playing it. And then we do the same thing as before. That we ended this other chorus sections with. Or then just hit that, but really kind of the bottom 3 strings there. All right, so all together for this last chorus, and then I'll switch to the other guitar for the solos. Way this. All right, so let me grab my other guitar and I'll go through the solo for you guys. All right, so that's relatively insane. Lots of stuff to cover here. Not completely recreatable things as well, as you could probably hear. I mean, it's just the nature of what he's doing there. He's doing kind of really kind of random things there. But I think we can get pretty close to it, at least the effect of some of those parts. So we're going to start here with this harmonic at the 5th fret on the G string. And you just kind of slightly press it while you're, just kind of vibrating a little bit. And you're going to end that, turn those delays off, with a bend, a big bend at the 9th fret there on the G. So with this. And then you're going to do a bend there at the 9th fret on the G again with a big pinch harmonic. And then play 7-9 on the G. And then do a bend at a 7. And then just the regular 7. So a lot of pinch harmonics on those as well. Just a pinch harmonic heaven there. All right, then we have this next phrase, looks like this. All right, so that starts out with so you're gonna kind of rake across the strings, the muted strings, to get to the 12th fret on the high E string, then 13, 15. Go back to the 13, hammer back on 15, pull off to 13, pull off to 12, over to 15 on the B, then back to that 12. Then pull off 15 to 13 on the B, and there you kind of hold on that 13 just briefly. All right, from there, you're basically gonna pull off to 12, then go down to 15, pull off to, on the G string, pull off to 14, 12, then hammer back up those notes, 14 and 15, back to that 12 on the B. So we have this. And then we have this. So that's a bend at the 14th fret on the G, then play 12 on the B, 12 on the high E, and then a bend at the 15th fret on the B. And then play 12 on the high E string, and then a bend at the 15 on the high E. So with this. And then we're going to end the lick by playing 12 on the high E string again. And it's kind of like a quick bend and release at the 15th on the B. Pull off to 12. Then you play 15 on the B. Back to that 12. Then resolve it down to the 14th fret there on the G string. So all together for that lick. And then some whammy-ba. And then we get down to this section. So that is just going to start here with the 5th fret there on the B string, pull off the 3, pull off to the open string. And then we just go back between, we're kind of really kind of doing a bar dips on each note, like a couple times on the 5. And then once on the 3, and kind of repeat that. And then you do the bend at the 2nd fret on the G with some heavy whammy bar on that stuff. All right, now we get to our first kind of really erratic kind of tapping lick. That what he's doing here is he's taking his like his ring finger or his middle finger, one finger on the high E string, and just sliding it up, right? Now, as he's doing it, he's tapping in front of it. And he's doing kind of those little slide taps into it. So you just pull it off to one. So when you got that effect, it's obviously a random type effect. You just need to do that with the tapping lick, and then it just keeps pulling off to just a random note that's kind of sliding up in the fret hand. And then he does that until he gets to the 15th fret with the fret hand. And we have this little. So that's got a couple pull-offs from 15 to 14. Down to 12. Over to 15 on the B. Back to the 12 on the high E string. And then kind of a quick bend and release there at the 15 on the B string. And then we have this. So that lick right there is just going to be kind of repeated a couple times. 12 on the B, hammer 15, pull back off to 12. Over to 15 on the G string. Yeah, I might have played 14 before. I think it's 15. Yeah, so we have this 15 on the G, and then grab 12 on the high E. So that's kind of the lick, this. And you do that twice. So that comes out. And then we have this. And that's a kind of a bend and release at the 14th fret on the G. And you pull off to 12, roll over to the 12th fret on the B, back to that 12 on the G, and then back to the 14th fret on the G with a big pinch harmonic on it. All right, and then we have this next lick. So that starts with a 12 on the high E string to 12 on the B, and then you do a half step bend and release at the 14th fret on the high E, pull off to 12, and then play that 12 on the B string again. So we have this. And then you're going to do a bend now, whole step bend at the 15th fret on the high E. Release that, pull off to 12 again, and then pick 12 on the B. So we have this. And then bend at the 15 again, but it's a bigger bend. Release, pull off to 12. So we have this. And then we're going to end this lick with, which is just 15, 14, 12 on the high E string, over to 15 on the B, into a bend there at the 15th fret on the B. And then we have our last kind of crazy tapping lick, which is a little bit different than the previous one. But this one's more like this. All right, what in the world is going on there? So kind of doing the same thing in the right hand that we were before. We're kind of just doing these kind of slide taps that I keep pulling off to the fret hand. So that kind of thing. It's just random. You don't have to really worry about what fret you're at. But in the left hand, it sounds more like he's doing like a chromatic thing instead of one note. So it sounds like he's... So I'm just kind of going, just going to kind of 3 notes up, then back down. And it does that all the way till we get to the 20th fret there with the fret hand. And you hit that note and just really kind of take it down. I mean, that's kind of like the closest. I mean, you can do that note again, but it kind of making it part of the tapping lick. It's hard to go. So you can just grab it here. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm just going this with the fret hand, and then so just like that. So it's just kind of slow. So it's just an effect he's trying to go for. He's not trying to go for like, here, this note, to this note, this note. That's not kind of what it's about. It's supposed to create that kind of chaotic sound. So it sounds closer like he's doing some kind of chromatic thing there, and the second tapping lick there. All right, so that is it for the solo. It's pretty crazy, and the song is just intense. Obviously, it's in multiple tunings. This is some intense rhythm guitar parts, and then the solo is just nuts. So classic Eddie. I miss him. I'm sure you guys do. But so hopefully this will be a good tribute to him here on this day, which is kind of an anniversary of a pretty tragic day. But anyway, I wanted to do it for him anyway. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.